Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining us. So as mentioned, we are a team from Corny Digital. I will give a little bit of a background for each and every one of us. And together we will explore what is the answer to the demand for on-demand. What is that demand? Where does it come from? What are the motivators that create the demand for on-demand? And how is the industry can and should answer those demands? So a little bit about ourselves. Sorry, something here. Not moving. There we go. So this is Tamara, segment head, business development. Ian Bell, Cornitex manager for EMEA. Alistair Milchrist, segment head, business development, and myself, marketing manager for Cornitex. Together, we will explore, as mentioned, the demand for on-demand. So what is the new reality of brands and creators? I would like to ask Tamara to explore a little bit about this and about the motivators that run the industry changes.
Hi all, thank you for joining us. As Ridor mentioned, the industry and the brands and the retailers passed a few changes during the last couple of years, and especially the last 2 years with the COVID and the lockdowns and the new way of doing business. Basically, the on-demand enables you to have in stock what is required, what is selling, what is demanding by the market, and not having any overstock or any out of stocks. And it really enables you to maximize the growth and maximize the revenues that you can really get from each and every piece of product that you are producing. During the session, we will discuss the trends that are emerging in the industry and how we can really give an answer to them by going to on-demand production. As we all know, and as I mentioned before, the last 2 years, the booming of the e-com was amazing. Everything was done online, and the retailers and the brands that didn't have presence in the online markets found themselves really behind. So every brand and every retail today has their sales channel via the online, and when you are working online, having the on-demand solution to have your stocks all the time updated and without having inventory that is not selling is a great solution. All the customers today, all the population today wants to have their self-expression. They want to have their own input in the clothes they are wearing. They want to have their own identity reflect in what they are wearing. So brands found themselves today having to give their customers also the opportunity to have personalization and customization in their own garments. On top of that, most of the brands have bricks and mortars presence, and they need to provide the customer that enters the store also a virtual experience, combining the online with the offline and having the omni-channel experience for the customer. And on top of that, a trend that is not only a part of the fashion industry, but it's a worldwide trend. Of course, it's the sustainability. As we all know, the fashion world and the retail world is one of the most pollution industries in the world. And all the brands and the retailers are looking to produce in more sustainable way, using more sustainable products, and going on demand and not having leftover stocks and unused apparel and garments is the way to do that and be sustainable. When we are facing those trends, we need to see how we can really help the industry, the fashion industry, the retailers and the brands to meet the trends and give the solutions in their own supply chains and inventories. So basically, when you are going on demand, the products are virtually are virtual, sorry. They are not existing. You didn't produce them and put them on sale. You are producing them only after the customer is placing an order and there is a demand for the product. So you can have hundreds and endless virtual variety in your online stores without having to print any of them in before the demand is coming. The on-demand also allows you to give fast reaction to new emerging trends that you didn't predict in advance when you place your traditional orders by the traditional supply chain, and you can have a fast reaction to emerging trends and micro moments. And on top of that, you can have your own bestsellers replenished very fast onshore by printing them digitally and providing them in a matter of a few days in stores and to the customers, compared to weeks or sometimes months until the reorders are in the stores and in the warehouses. The customization, personalization, as I mentioned before, this is a huge part of the interface today with the customer. And by doing on demand, you can actually allow the customer, your customer, to have one-off with his name, his initials, and having his own personality in the garment that they are wearing. Everything is done very with the highest consistent quality, using Kornit's printers around the world, printing on demand. We use the same inks and the same technology all over the world, so the same quality of a product will be produced in the States and in the Europe and in the Far East. So the brand quality will be maintained all over the world. And as I mentioned, the sustainability is really a key player with the engagement with the brands and with the environment and the markets.
Thank you, Tamara. So I'm sure that for most of you participants in this webinar, this sounds like it makes sense. These are changes that are being needed. This is a business opportunity, but how all of this is it can happen, and what is needed to be done in order to do so. So I would like to ask Ian to explore a little bit of what is needed on the technology part to make it happen.
Thanks, Lador. Okay, so one of the areas that everyone will be very aware of is the overproduction within the fashion industry. So we need to be able to address this, and one of the most straightforward methods to be able to do this is to use a digital infrastructure which will enable the on-demand production model, so that we are only producing the products which have actually already been sold. So that sort of leads on to other areas that can help brands and retailers. So with the technology, it does enable you to look into new revenue streams and other market areas that you can get involved in. So other revenue streams can include such things as Tamara mentioned, having a virtual inventory. So it can you can have unlimited products without having the investment in the stock beforehand and the risk that that will entail. We need to be able to connect all of the orders directly via smart routing to fulfillers on a global level. So we have a network of fulfillers that can facilitate this using the sustainable technologies of the Kornit systems. And also what we need to be able to do is to leverage the impact of social media. So we have technologies all based around the same platform that will allow direct purchasing from social media posts. We could just move on. So how do we actually do it? So what I want to do now is to sort of go into a little bit of the functionality of how the platform works. So some people who may be aware of Kornit X may think of it as a workflow solution. It'll manage the factory floor, which obviously it does, but there's a lot of other areas to the whole end-to-end solution of the Kornit X platform. So there are lots of different ways that we can get customers to interact with their online experience with with the KornitX solution. So to enable customers to be able to use their own creativity to express their individuality, they want to be able to create their own products. So we have various interfaces that can be used to which can match into the style of existing websites to enable this to be facilitated on the front end for the customer engagement. We route orders automatically, as we'd mentioned earlier, and we have an infrastructure to be able to integrate into existing systems. But other key parts of the way that the platform operates is it allows you to manage the products that are going to get sold. It can connect you through to fulfillers and to product ranges that you can have available to you, which also incorporates the artwork generation side. So from a purely production point of view, if you have customers who are uploading their own content, we need to be able to make sure that the quality and the print production side is dealt with. So we automate all that within the artwork generation part of the KornitX platform. And then to make sure that the finished goods arrived in the right place at the right time, then we've integrated various logistics and shipping companies to be able to facilitate this without any additional work from either yourselves or from the fulfillment companies. If we could move on. So really, automation is the key for the success of moving towards an on-demand business model. We need to have the infrastructure behind you, and the KornitX platform is designed and has been designed over the last 10 years to facilitate this for you. So we just look at some of the sort of general steps within the process. So for enabling on demand, so you need to be able to have access to products. So the product management section within the KornitX platform allows you to pick a variety of blank products from various suppliers. So the range is obviously ever expanding, but it'll give you the ability to then take either your own content, maybe licensed content, maybe your own design work, for where you can create your own virtual inventory of products, or you could use exactly the same products and allow customers to interact with them and to add their own designs to make their own mark on these products. So this is all based from the same inventory of blank products, which will then allow you to publish these onto either your e-commerce platform or marketplaces or social media posts where they can all link through so the customer can interact with these products. Once the orders have been placed, we can route the orders smartly, as we mentioned earlier, through to the production floor, which can be on a global level. So we've got proximity production closest available to reduce the shipping time and obviously the carbon footprint of the individual item. And then through the logistics, obviously we'll get the dispatch out to the customer. This may be directly to the consumer, or it could be via a click and collect mechanism. So if you're a bricks and mortar retailer, then they can be buying from your web shop and they can collect from your store, which is obviously getting customers into the bricks and mortar store, or it could be directed via your warehouse where you may want to ship out and consolidate. All of these methods are all standard and can all be configured to meet your own requirements. And then obviously to sort of close the loop on the whole transaction, all of the order information can get reported back into any internal systems that you may have. I think if we just go on to a few highlights of the platform. So the platform's here to enable on demand, but to get the engagement with the customers, and with simple integration methods, we can show multiple ways to display products within your website. So whether that's a print on demand product, a simple t-shirt with a design on that you just want to be able to sell, there is no stock holding. We enable the ability to generate the products which can get displayed and ordered through your existing shopping cart mechanisms, and it will route the orders through for fulfillment. It would also allow three-dimensional displays, so full 3D renderings of the products for the extra wow factor on the front end of your website. And when we mentioned social media channels earlier, so a direct purchase link within the social media post, if you've got the following and you can put a post out onto Instagram or whichever is your preferred social channel, and you can embed a smart link into it. They can physically see the products, they can customize it if that's how the product is set up, and they can purchase it directly from their smartphone. And I think there's one other to cover off. Yeah, the virtual inventory model. So with this side, one of the key things is people who, when they are logging into a website and they're ordering a product, if, for example, the data is not live within the website itself, in a lot of cases it's allowing orders to be placed, only to find that the consumers are getting an email sometime later on to say, sorry, we might have refunded you money, but unfortunately we're out of stock of that item. This allows, the virtual inventory model allows the ability to be sure that the products, because they're only going to get produced once they've been purchased, will allow the fact that the inventory is live and the products physically cannot be out of stock. We mentioned the smart routing earlier for the onto the production floor, and then obviously we link into external systems such as your ERP system, but also couriers and other services which would be necessary to facilitate this. So hopefully that's given you an overview of what the KornitX platform can do to assist you on moving forward into an on-demand model.
Thank you, Ian. And that's probably just the tip of the ice. But of course, both of you, Ian and Tamara, mentioned a fulfillment network of how we can leverage local production into global reach. So I want to deep dive a little bit about this, and I want to ask Alistair to explain a little bit, what is the Global Fulfillment Network?
Thanks, Lador. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm Alistair Wilkins, and I was actually one of the founders of Custom Gateway before our acquisition by Kornit in August 2020. So I've been an evangelist for sustainable on-demand production fulfillment for over a decade now. And we became KornitX after our acquisition. And one of the exciting parts about now being with Kornit is access to our global fulfillment network and begin to realize the dream. So what do we mean by a global fulfillment network? Well, firstly, we have best-in-class industrial textile printers around the world. So what we're aiming for is proximity production. So we want to look to onshore and nearshore. So when you're selling on your e-commerce sites, we want to be routing orders to the closest place to the consumer. Because of our technology, we know the exact files the Kornit systems need to print, and we can send the same file to any printer around the world. So we can ensure that quality consistency. We know the hardware, we know the inputs, we know the software. And that moves on nicely to brand integrity, as well as guaranteeing the quality of the artwork and the garment it's being printed on and the system being used. We can make sure we're printing on neck labels or inserting hang tags. And keeping that brand integrity as it needs to be. With our global fulfillment network, we have access to all the wholesalers around the world, so we can have a real wide range of blank products that our Kornit fulfillers are holding in stock or have access to on next day delivery. So we can be giving a real wide range of blank product variety. And then because of the capacity within our network, because of the knowledge we have of our customers, we really have unlimited capacity. So we have very high levels of production flexibility and unlimited scale. So we are very much into smart routing as well. And we have dozens of actual ways we can smart routing. But really at a high level, we want to optimize your fulfillment. And whether as just discussed, it's on geography, it's nearest to consumer, whether it's on machine capabilities, some are doing XDI or maybe direct to fabric, We know where the inventories are, so we can be routing to fulfillment companies that have the inventory in stock. We know what capacities are as well. Ultimately, we're going to be signing up to an SLA that we can deliver to your end consumer when you promise him it will be delivered. Or if it's for backfill or replenishment, we can be delivering to your store when you're out of stock. So Ian talked all about KornitX as the platform, and I'm talking about the global fulfillment network now. So combined, we have a very powerful route to market, and maybe a new route to market. Using the platform, we are generating the product. We have blank plus artwork. We call it a virtual product. And once these virtual products are created, they're listed on your web shop or your e-commerce store. And then once they're sold online, then orders are sent into our platform, and that's where our global fulfillment network kicks in. So we're then routing the orders to fulfiller based upon the criteria we've agreed. We're managing the blank inventories. We're delivering the artwork file ripped to make sure it's produced at the highest quality. We are directly integrating to the printing systems. So they're using technology to scan barcodes to download artwork. We have the quality because we know what systems we're sending to and what files we're sending. And then once the items are produced and shipped, we're then drop shipping them directly to the consumer or to your store for backfill or new inventory. So who needs a global fulfillment network? Well, as demand generators, you might want to grow your sales channels. You might want to react to trends more quickly. And an on-demand mindset enables you to do this. You won't be out of stock. You're using the blanks. You're using the artwork. You can be reactive to popular trends. Social media is changing every minute, every hour, every day. And on-demand mindset allows you to think so much more. You can think about personalization. You can be adding personalization to your standard products as well to get closer to your customer, your fan, your supporter. And because of our network, it's quick, it's simple, and it's sustainable. And then from a fulfiller's side, we're helping some fulfillers grow their business. They're looking to really work with their customers to keep their loyalty. They're looking to answer their dynamic demands in what is a fast-changing world. So there's endless opportunities with an on-demand mindset. Now, you will all have businesses that are doing well in what you're doing at. So you can keep your business going at its best, but you can think about where you can add. If you have a library of licensed art in the back catalogue, now with an on-demand mindset, they can be on your e-commerce stores, and there's no inventory. It's only produced when you sell something. You might want to add personalization. You might want to be reactive. There's a whole world of opportunities. And then mass customization in an on-demand mindset can now be done in a high capacity at any time and location. And to repeat, there's no inventory risk with an on-demand mindset. You're only producing when sold. You're only paying when produced.
Thank you very much, Alistair. Before we move on, you've mentioned that who needs it? Basically, we have the demand generators, those who create the demand, the brands, the retailers, the influencers, the licensors, and we have the other side, those who produce the demand, the fulfiller side, the printers, the manufacturers. I would like to ask you and Tamara to showcase one customer of each. Let's start with Tamara. If you can please present.
Sorry, I was muted. So one of the biggest retailers in the world is the Next Group. They have bricks and mortars, and their online their platform is amazing, and it's delivering all around the world. KornitX is implemented into the next supply chain. We are managing the full virtual supplier, virtual inventory platform for them, meaning that all the brands, more than 200 brands are onboarded the KornitX platform and the next platform by KornitX. So when a customer is placing an order on the next platform, basically what we enable is a transparent visibility into the warehouses of the 200 brands that are onboarded the platform, and the customer and Next themselves can see in real time the levels of inventory, and if a customer is placing an order for a product that does not exist, it will receive immediately a notification that the product is not available, and it can replace it with a different product, meaning that you won't place an order and the day after you will receive a notification that the garment is out of stock, but you will be able to place a new order on the spot. So KornitX enables really not to lose any revenues coming from orders that cannot be fulfilled. And the onboarding of new brands, more than 200 as I mentioned, is really easy. The implementation is done very quickly, and the suppliers and the fulfillers that are working via the KornitX platform are integrated as well. So it's really an easy play for the retailer and for the fulfillers.
Thank you, Tamara. That was a good example for retailer, one of the biggest. Let's move to another example. Back to you, Alistair, this time from the fulfiller side.
So the Hut Group, I think they're now known as THG on the stock market. Well, they're actually a bit more than a fulfiller. They're vertical. So they are generating their demand and they're doing the on-demand fulfillment, which is really quite an exciting business model. The THG business objective was to obviously manage their own e-commerce channels. I'm sure many of you will be familiar with like Zavi and iWoot and many channels they have as well. But they then wanted a digital print-on-demand factory that would include the printing and multiple decorations. So therefore, they can now do trade or on-demand fulfillment for themselves or for others to unlock their capacity. So really quite an exciting use case. Within KornitX, obviously using our end-to-end workflow solution, they've got the flexible barcode-driven production. They're using single and multi-line orders. They're routing and batching, everything within our platform. And then using the platform to create the artwork of all their virtual products, they're improving their quality. They've got their print setups defined in advance on whatever blanks they're using as well. They know that and know what prints best. And, an on-demand mindset is about saving the seconds and reducing the defects. So using a fully automated system, they've dramatically reduced errors. They now have integrated quality control within their production system throughout the whole platform. And as previously mentioned, they're optimizing their graphic file generations that are optimized for print output. And, with software, sometimes there's a cost of doing business. But with our platform, while we spoke a lot earlier about opportunities, there's cost savings as well. There's cost savings from the efficiency of barcode-driven workflow production, automated management of blank stock and wholesale blanks. We've got speed and accuracy. We're downloading files. We're not asking people to manually interpret. We've got QA scan points. We've got branding scan points. So by using our platform, we're helping our customers overcome IT complexity and infrastructure. As we're a SaaS model and a scalable model, they get the benefit of all the upgrades we bring to our platform as well.
Thank you, Alistair, and thank you, Tamara and Ian. For all of those joined us today. I'm sure this is a lot of information. It is not so simple to understand exactly how everything works. So we prepared a short video for you guys that explains a little bit in a simple way what KornitX is all about.
Hey guys, it's been a while, but rest assured, Kornit has been very busy not only making the world a better place, but the operational side of the business from the service provider's end just got a whole lot easier. Introducing KornitX, an end-to-end sustainable solution for on-demand manufacturing. We're talking all of Kornit's advantages in one simple-to-use software platform. Now we can literally be anywhere at any time. Thank you. How can we do this? Come, I'll show you. Now we have a last-minute demand that absolutely has to be filled. Like Sweet Chrissy's Little Pony themed birthday party. Now how are we gonna get 1,000 printed shirts in no time? What? She's a popular kid. At this point, the order gets picked up by the closest service provider to the event. They print locally, on demand, nothing gets wasted. Sweet Chrissy's happy, nature's happy. It's a win-win for everybody. You're a big brand house. You got a huge show coming up in 3 days, but the warehouse you stored your entire line in gets burnt to the ground. What are you gonna do? No, seriously, I'm not selling you an insurance policy. I'm talking about a solution that enables global on-demand manufacturing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not playing around with you, but we do love to play. We're talking end-to-end service from consumer to doorstep. We're talking nearshoring manufacturing, so the production floor works as seamless as possible. Our GFN uses a wide spread of fulfillers using the most advanced Kornit technology, and supported by Kornit's best practices and extensive knowledge base. Whether it's a large birthday bash, well-established fashion line, or a small company growing their brand, KornitX is the right address, because we're everywhere. KornitX, global brands, local fulfillers, max quality.
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Tamir, the guy with the beard. So to summarize a little bit, what we have talked about today is how can we enable on-demand manufacturing everywhere in the world and have everything on demand, no matter the place, no matter the time, and no matter the blank or garment or design, because there are basically no limits when it comes to digital and when it comes to on-demand manufacturing. Before we end up, I would like to ask my colleagues to give from their experience one advice or a tip to our audience looking forward to the future into their business model, how their business can evolve, or how can they approach on-demand from your experience and how you know our different customers around the world. What would you say? Let's start with you, Tamara.
So from my experience talking with brands and retailers, I would say, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to embrace the on-demand, the hybrid model, using it on top of your traditional supply chain, having a new revenue stream when you are providing the on-demand for your customers and allowing them to do a one-off, or if you need to do short runs for your own inventory to have your best sellers. So really be open-minded to the solutions that the on-demand digital printing provided by Kornit and KornitX can really provide to your brand and business.
Thank you, Tamara. Ian, over to you.
Thanks, Lido. I think the biggest piece of advice from me being involved in this industry for nearly 10 years now is to look at the automation. The automation will drive on-demand success. The platform itself from KornitX is a total end-to-end solution, and you need to be able to encompass all of this. So you need to be able to get the engagement with the customers on the front end, particularly if it is customer-generated content. But even if it's fixed designs that just need to be produced on demand, still the automation to be able to create that virtual inventory is key, and then to follow the process all the way through the production floor out through via the couriers out to the customer or back into the store, whichever is appropriate. It's the automation which will lead to the success of the on-demand project.
Thank you, Ian. Last but not least, Alistair.
Well, I completely agree with Ian being passionate about the platform. But to me, though, it's about the opportunities it brings, and the on-demand mindset can change how you make money. And my biggest one is the endless aisle, and the endless aisle of art and license and designs that you might not want to stock all of it, but you can give your consumers that choice. And having the mindset that you can actually make as much money by doing one of 1,000, you can do 1,000 of one.
Thank you, Alistair. So this comes to the end of our webinar. That's a time to have some questions from the crowd. Let's hear it. Back to you.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much. That's such a lovely, insightful webinar, everyone. Yes, we do have some questions from the crowd. So starting with the first question, what type of customers do you support in the manufacturing industry?
Alistair, we'll give this one to you.
Thank you. So that's quite a wide question, but from a manufacturing perspective, obviously owned by Kornit, we are experts in digital on-demand textile, both direct to garment and direct to fabric. We do have a wider network of other printing techniques, but our focus really is on fashion, textile and apparel with some hard goods added on top.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Next question. Where are your customers located?
Everywhere.
I think we might be missing the Falkland Islands. I'd need to check, but we have obviously we're very well established in North America. We're starting to really grow in Latin America, UK, Europe. We have our Asia Pacific office that's operating in Japan, Australia, China, India now. So and we're growing. So we have a global network.
And I would like to add, if I may, that the customers of Kornit are coming from both sides. We have the demand generators and we have the fulfillers, the printers. So really the spread of the customers is basically everywhere.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much for that. The next question is, how long does it take to implement and see the results from Kornit X?
I think I'll probably take that one. It can depend on the complexity of your project. So what we do as standard is we develop a full scope of work or a statement of work up front when we start talking with you about what the actual requirements are. So it will depend on the setup within the production facility, if it's that side that we're talking about. So you could be going live within a month to 6 weeks. It may take 2 or 3 months. It'll just depend on the scale of it, but quite often we do like a staged approach. So we've got a first part of the project, second part of the project. So it's developed around your specific requirements. That's the best way to think about it.
Fabulous, that's great. And another question is, what is the best way to contact Kornit to learn more?
I would take that, actually. Any contact form that you can fill in on our website, kornit.com or kornitx.com. We have both. And the right person will communicate with you. Depends on your location in the world.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. If there are any other questions from the audience that would like to be submitted, I would say now is your time.
In the meantime, I would like to invite everyone to follow us on our social media channels, and very soon to our UK audience. Next week, Kornit Fashion Week, after being in Los Angeles, Tel Aviv, New York, Tokyo, Milan, we're coming to London. So next week, Kornit Fashion Week takes place in London. Follow us, come visit, And right after, we're heading to FESPA in Berlin. So it's a good opportunity to contact us face to face as well, which is better, way better than online.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. That does conclude the Q&A session and the webinar. Thank you so much for the webinar and obviously our attendees. See you later.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.